right, so what do we have that we're going to be talking about today?
I definitely think we should cover the UFC.
Yeah.
It's NBA heavy.
All right.
All right.
What else do we got this hot
Any
in the
football?
news cycle?
I got some. We got some combine rumors,
Okay.
and I got plenty of NBA or NFL shit that I thought was interesting.
All right, we'll combine. So we'll start with the combine just because it's NFL, then move to NBA and finish UFC.
Sounds like a plan.
All right.
All right.
Did you guys watch the UFC?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
rented it.
Yeah.
Mark, it was Mark's birthday yesterday. We went to Benihana, had dinner, came back here for the fight.
Yeah. Yeah. Very delicious Benihana. I think we definitely need to throw a shout out to Benihana in the show to try to get some sponsorships from Benihana. See if maybe there's a comp meal to be had there somewhere.
Got to be careful. We can't have the Red Dead Redemption situation.
What's that?
What?
Do you remember the Ballers with the Red Dead Redemption? Some
Oh.
dickhead gave them a bad review and was like, "You guys, I know you're like down low, getting paid by Red Dead Redemption for all of that you're talking."
Yeah. All right. Fuck that.
That was hilarious.
Oh, that's so funny. I can't believe they're fucking grown men that. Never mind. I won't bash grown men that play video games.
Yeah, come on.
John's got a horse.
Yeah. And
No, I
I'm
was
amazed
excited
that it's
for Red
not
Dead.
named John Bon Pony.
That's a terrible name. You should be shunned for that.
Yep.
And yet John is now thinking about playing that game and naming one of his horses that.
No, I'm gonna have another Phil. It's gonna be Phil 2,
Oh, okay.
and then Phil 3. They're all gonna be Phil from now on.
Are you gonna name one Phil McCracken?
Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll have Phil and then some kind of funny thing with it every time.
Are they all gonna be sexual? Phil McCracken.
Phil these nuts.
Yeah. For sure.
Phil her mouth.
Can you name one not R. Kelly's underage girl, Phil?
Wow.
Yes, I think he can
Wow.
definitely do that. And I feel like that should have been recorded right there. I'm kind of disappointed that we don't have that last little exchange on there.
Well, guess what? I've been recording for the last 3 minutes.
Nice.
Nice.
Shout out
There's
to
your-
all the Red Dead fans out there.
There's your promo video, John.
Talking about how all of your horses in Red Dead Redemption are going to be named after the guy in the fantasy league that you rode like a bitch.
So I used the studio for my card breaking earlier today. That was kind of cool.
Did you get anything good?
It was a solid box, not a strong box. There was like a Nick Chubb rookie auto, a Minka Fitzpatrick rookie auto. Who else was there? Christian Kirk.
Now, when you say a box, what are you referring to?
The hierarchy goes pack, box, case. And we did a 3-box break, which was a quarter of that particular brand's case.
How much is a case?
They can run anywhere from 400 to 2,500.
That's dirt cheap.
Yeah.
So, could you, let's say, the boxes with those NBA one-of-ones with like the patches of the jerseys and shit like that?
Use some National Treasures basketball.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably closer to $4,000 a case.
But if you get one in there, there's a pretty good chance it's worth $4,000.
If you did a case, you'd probably get one of the top rookies in there, and those are worth a metric shit ton. All rookies out of 99 are worth a good amount of
So why aren't we just buying cases?
Because coming into the game right now, there's allocations, and you're only allowed to buy a certain amount at a time. So even for us as breakers, we can't just go buy all the product we want. So in order to buy their best products, they want you to buy a bunch of their shitty products too.
Is that what it's called? National Treasures?
We read that.
What's the actual name of it?
National Treasures. Panini National Treasures.
How do you spell panini?
Panini.
So that's a 4-box case?
Yep. I assume what you found is last year's. How much are they going for?
2018, 2019,
That's a pre-order. Okay.
$4,000.
Yeah. Goddamn.
Sounds about right.
I was right
What-
on the nose.
What about 2010, 2011?
Like, are they still around? Who was a rookie that year?
I don't know. 2017, 2018.
That's Tatum and Mitchell.
Hold on.
So,
There's one for $1,600.
Of last year's
17, 18, yeah.
4-box case, that seems really cheap. But whatever you find, don't buy anything because we can see what we get it for through the store. And the guy at the store, if I ever buy a case that we're not doing with them, I always get it at cost.
so you want to go ahead and
Might be 3,500. That might be 1 box.
Okay, yeah, that sounded a little more.
I don't know. It looks the same in the picture.
Yeah, they'll use the picture of just a box to advertise the case because a case is literally just a cardboard box.
Interesting.
Yeah. So. About
But
right.
if you got Tatum in that,
Yeah, let me hear. Let's go to eBay and see what they're fucking going for.
Brady, am I boring you to death?
no, absolutely not.
He actually listens to a lot of this shit.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, cards.
Tatum says $8,000 or best offer sold. All right, so the National Treasures RPA just sold for $5,000, graded at a 9.5, and that's the equivalent of the $500 Pascal we were talking about last week.
Gotcha. Is he the highest in that year?
No, probably Donovan right now. Let's see what Donovan. Yeah, Donovan's right about the same, 4,500.
Interesting. Okay. Did not know there was that much money in cards.
Oh my god, dude!
Yeah, the really high end stuff is absurdly expensive.
Watch this. You looking at that?
I can't see it that well. Just tell me.
The top one up there, 1997 Metal Universe Precious Metal Gems Michael Jordan, numbered at a 10, $350,100.
Now that is graded 10 out of 10. So
And this is crazy. A LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan auto,
Mm-hmm.
75,000. This dude got $75,000 for his auction. He couldn't even put his picture straight.
classy.
Yeah. That was actually for a couple of cards. I see. Oh my God. We gotta talk about Momo.
Oh my god, my girlfriend just told me about that.
Dude, this is the funniest shit ever.
She told me yesterday.
So it caught my attention because all the news stories were like YouTube Kids, and my kids watch YouTube Kids all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually, like, as soon as the story broke, I read the story. Then I went and did the research, found out it was a hoax, and then, you know, it was fucking hilarious. But now people are putting fucking Momo in videos and shit.
That's funny.
Yep. Alright, you guys ready?
Let's do it.
Yep.
Alright, NBA, NFL, and UFC, right? Yeah. Alright. Alright, guys, welcome back to another episode of Sports on High, where we are blazing our way through the sports world, and with us, as always, we've got the shadiest of all Brady's. How you doing over there, Brady?
Doing all right. It's gonna be an all right night. I feel like we got some fun stuff to talk about. Gonna make fun of this life advice from Larry Fitzgerald for Antonio Brown.
Oh, boy.
And there's some good stuff to talk about tonight.
All right, lots of good stuff to talk about. Also, from Chicago, we got Rich. How you doing, Rich?
All fantastic. Just watching all this nonsense out of the combine and why anybody gives a shit.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on for a guy they just discovered is, what, an eighth of an inch taller than they thought he was?
Congratulations on being taller than 5'10".
Yeah,
Yeah.
really, and not by much.
Yeah, a little bit taller than 5'10".
The fact that... Why did it lead ESPN?
Because they have nothing better to talk about right now.
Because there's not enough hype around the quarterbacks in the draft right now, and they're really starting to manufacture that hype. I really feel like the same thing happened last year, where there was like no real great quarterback, and then all of a sudden there's just manufactured hype around all four of the big guys.
Yeah, it's for like the last 2 weeks or 3 weeks, all you had heard was how this was a defense-heavy draft, and you weren't going to see quarterbacks going in the top half of the draft. Now all of a sudden, Kyler Murray's going in the top half of the draft. That kid from Ohio State's going in the fucking top half of the first round. Fucking
Is that Hoskins?
yeah, Hoskins. So you got Murray and Hoskins going in at least the first 12 to 10 picks. You know, it's ridiculous. It went from a defense and fucking ancillary player heavy draft to all of a sudden, look at all these quarterbacks. Look at all this interesting stuff. No, they're not that interesting. I don't want to look at them.
Right, okay. What you got, Rich?
For the NFL being the most popular league, it's run by seriously the dumbest people right behind hockey people. Like, they are the dumbest fucking bunch of front office personnel ever met in my life.
Wow.
Ever. They seriously, like, did they all ride the short bus?
Alright,
Are they only allowed to hire the dumbest people imaginable?
so what's wrong with the combine that's got you fired up like this?
I don't understand. Like, even watching, like, on the NFL's Instagram account, they're constantly, like, hyping these fucking people and putting out, like, wide receivers and comparing their times to other wide receivers. Like, the fact that some guy runs the 40 faster than Antonio Brown makes a fucking difference.
Yeah, look where it's gotten John Ross, right on the trading block.
John, don't call me Bob Ross.
That's the one.
Wow.
I guess that's an inside joke from another podcast I did with Rich about 6 months ago or so.
I don't understand what the fuck these people are doing. None of it makes any sense ever.
Well, there's an advantage for some of those fringe guys. Brady was mentioning this earlier. You might not be in line for a huge contract, but if you have a good showing at the combine, if it moves you up 10 spots, that could be a significant pay increase.
Good, congratulations to them. My problem is with the people that are hiring them. Those are the fucking morons.
Who are they? Who are they?
The general managers, these head coaches, like, what are they fucking looking at? What are they trying to get from watching guys work out?
Yeah,
I know prison yards where they have better workouts.
The number one thing that makes me say that it's not that important is Bill Belichick there?
He came like a day late. He was getting a fucking award, and he didn't even show up for it. He showed up the next day.
He had something better to do.
That's where it shows you that it's not as important as you would think. Because if it was that important to actually analyzing the talent in the draft, Bill Belichick would have a front row seat.
I heard stories that there are general managers telling their scouts that if they are not in the front row of when they are taking the measurements of some of these guys, they're going to be in trouble. Like, what? They're not going to get to fucking bring these guys in for a workout and look at their hand size? Like, who gives a shit?
What are you learning from these workouts that you haven't already seen in the at least 2, probably 3 years of these guys starting their college football? Like, it's not like you don't have a fuckload of tape on these guys.
Hey, listen, when Kyler Murray walks in your room and you have him there, you can see how fucking tall he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't need to have him work out for you. You can do personal interviews. You can,
So let's call it what it should be then, a big meet and greet then.
Yeah, and treat it as such. Just let them have a big meet and greet with the fucking players and not make them go through these ridiculous-ass exercises that fucking might get them injured and cost them serious money if they fall in the fucking draft.
Like, does it matter what a guy can do in a cone drill?
Yeah, in spandex. No pads.
Like, watch the fucking tape. Did he run a good route or not? Does he do it consistently? Does he have a varying route tree? What does the coach, how did the coach use him? Did the coaches trust them enough? Hey, you like the guy? Bring him in. Work him out. What the fuck is it with this goddamn dog and pony show? It's just a symbolism for the NFL and how dumb they are. I get it. They need content. It's on TV. The owners get a paycheck for it. These guys aren't even fucking getting paid yet.
And it gives them something in the news to compete with the NBA right now. Just something to put them on TV. Just to try to make them relevant.
Between the Super Bowl and the draft.
Right.
No one gives a shit about football. This is football trying to make you give a shit.
And how come I don't get to see guys Wonderlic test scores?
Yeah, that's something that I've always wanted to see. Like, they somehow come out, like, are they unconfirmed when they come out? Like, guys are just admitting what they got, and that's kind of kept in a database somewhere? Because I've seen Wonderlic scores before.
I think executives may be leaking them, the people that actually have access to it. Like the front office people that actually get to look at that type of thing.
Ooh, that's grimy.
Leaking it.
Front office leaks, I like that.
But I mean, these guys, they spend money. They have psychologists on staff that interview these guys. Like, you can only do that at the combine? Like, what is happening here?
Yeah, why can't you just have them at your facility? I mean, I guess if you want to say you can put them there and have everyone's psychiatrist and everyone's GM there to talk to them all at once on one day, but I mean, that would get kind of fucking shitty and repetitive for the cattle at that point. That's just getting kind of fucking like poked and prodded from room to room, where there's like, miscellaneous board of executives from some miscellaneous team that are all waiting to ask him the same questions he's been asked like 8 times in the previous 8 rooms, and he's just fucking going through this repetitive fucking shit show over and over again.
It's the same thing, like why they all tout St. Elmo's in Indianapolis. It's this great fucking, quote unquote, great restaurant that you gotta go to it. They get the best shrimp cocktail and the best shrimp cocktail sauce. You're fucking telling me a restaurant's great because they got great shrimp cocktail sauce? Go fuck yourself.
Yeah,
Just like you're trying to tell me that I should get excited that Buffalo's gonna draft a running back in the first round because they have a great fucking 40 time. Go fuck yourself. It doesn't mean dick to me. The most interesting thing about the combine, is the fun of PFT commentator having to fucking forge credentials and sneak in because the NFL's banned him from everything.
That is pretty good.
Wow.
That's actually slightly better than the one time that I forget who it was. I think it was a defensive lineman who forgot his shorts and had to borrow somebody else's shorts to do his sprint, and his shorts blew out in the middle of him doing the sprint.
Oh, and he finished the 40 like half naked, right?
Yeah, I believe
correctly.
so. That was one of the funnier blurred out highlights that I've ever seen. Just man running, shorts exploding, and man tries to continue running with some dignity, but
No, there's no dignity
no,
running like that.
no, there was no dignity there.
You just finish the race and move on with your life at that point.
Yeah, you just get across the line. That's all you can do.
He should have crossed the line and be like, "You want to measure this?"
That would have been amazing.
Does that make his draft stock better or worse?
I think that would have improved his draft stock just for arrogance alone.
The best part about PFT commentator, he fucking posted his fake credential on Twitter before he went.
Wow. Well, that's interesting.
That guy's the best. Like,
Bold
just
choice, my guy.
Yeah. And it
Wait.
worked out for him.
Yeah, nobody called him on it. Like, yo, dude, you posted this shit on Twitter like 20 minutes ago, and now you're trying to get in the building with this shit.
So, let me ask you a question, Rich. Why did Jason Witten decide to unretire and come back, other than the fact that he was a complete and utter bore in the studio?
because he wants to be a coach.
Yeah.
But from all accounts, ESPN was going to bring him back and fucking do the dance with him again. He wasn't getting fired.
Which is horrible because he was getting shelled by everyone but ESPN.
Well, he wasn't great. He was boring. He was stiff. Hats off to Tony Romo. Tony Romo's great. He's got personality. He's got something to offer.
Yeah,
apparently,
for sure.
Apparently, he's got some sort of crystal ball that he can see into the future with.
Well, he's just good at looking at formations and defenses and predicting what the quarterback's going to do from that formation against that defense. He's a quarterback. He just looks at it from that perspective and goes, what would I do right there?
The big question on all this is ESPN going to bring in somebody? Because they only have a year left, and then it's up for bidding again. So is ESPN going to keep Monday Night Football, or are they going to move it to ABC and kind of reinvigorate ABC Sports and put it on network TV? Also, at that same time, Tony Romo becomes a broadcasting free agent, and his contract is up.
So Tony Romo to ABC on Monday Night Football?
Is that what we're getting?
Probably. Well, I don't know. How long has he signed on with Fox? Did he do a
One more year.
multi-year deal with? It wasn't just a one by one. He did a 2-year deal.
This is his last year under contract for CBS.
Huh? Well, yeah, they might try to find like a patch to go in there for now. Yeah, have their eyes on Tony Romo long term for just as soon as he's available.
Well, ESPN still has is Booger McFarland and that crappy crew going to be around still?
Probably.
No idea. But ESPN's first choice wasn't Jason Witten; it was Peyton Manning.
Oh, I wonder if they'll come back around and Peyton wants to do it again.
Oh, Peyton could be entertaining. And he definitely doesn't mind the camera. It is, from what I understand, a reasonably jovial and funny individual.
He does a great job on commercials. I'm not a big Peyton Manning quarterback fan, but he does a great job in the commercials.
What kind of check do they cut Peyton Manning? Do they cut him a $10 million?
Whatever it is, it's going to be big and cardboard and look like he won it on a game show.
How much did Gruden make his last year announcing? Double it.
I think it was $5 million. I think he was doing $5 million a year.
I could see Peyton Manning worth $10 million then.
Yeah, that's not a hard pill to swallow.
No, not at all. There was another big football story that's coming out around the time of the combine is Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown says he doesn't want to play football anymore or doesn't have to play football anymore. Is he just trying to stay relevant too? Is he trying to copy the NFL and keep his name in the news during this offseason?
I don't know. He had a blonde mustache, though, and a terrible haircut, and he was on LeBron's show, The Barber Shop. So does that mean that is a terrible barber? Like, does he not have any friends?
He already had it, and he was going to the barber shop to get it trimmed off. I mean, he definitely got some pretty sound life advice from Larry Fitzgerald here when Larry stated the incredibly obvious. To be able to play with an all-time quarterback like he's able to, I don't understand how. I don't think he understands how good he has it. It can get tough out there.
Does he not have friends? Because
I don't think so.
Antonio Brown? No, I don't think so.
Brady, if you came on and you had that, I would tell you that you look like a fucking moron and to get shave or don't do that. I'd be your friend and I'd be like, hey,
for sure.
You look fucking ridiculous.
That's horrible. It doesn't get much worse than that. But
I had friends that came to my defense when I shaved my beard into the Civil War thing, where it was, big side beard, but like completely shaved under here, like from the lip down too, so nothing there.
But he also went from that into the full handlebar biker mustache, which was
a lot more tolerable than that.
Yes, but like 10 shades creepier. It was an amazingly creepy handlebar. It was great. It fit him so well. Like John behind the wheel of an El Camino with that handlebar mustache was just like that's everything you could imagine it to be.
Heaven on earth right there.
Does this prove my point, though, that wide receivers aren't valuable?
Yes. Absolutely. But what's going to blow my mind out of the water is that Antonio Brown is going to go for a second or third round pick, and Amari Cooper went for a first round pick. Now, I can't bash the move with Amari Cooper because he went to Dallas and paid dividends. Immediately. But, Amari Cooper's going to get more than... what you got, Rich?
Did he really pay dividends?
Well,
how are you defining dividends? Are you defining
one playoff win and a decent number of catches and touchdowns?
He had several big games.
Yes, there you go.
He had several big games in Oakland.
Yeah.
I don't know. It seemed to energize Dallas because Dallas finished the season strong, and like Brady said, including a playoff win.
Which you don't get a whole lot of playoff wins in Dallas. They make playoff appearances, but not playoff wins.
Yeah, when you had Amari come to town and start with the production that he started with, defenses then had to respect Amari and were able to back off Ezekiel, who finished strong.
Yeah, it definitely helped their run game to add that down the field threat.
Tell me how it didn't pay dividends.
The only thing it paid dividends in is it forced the coaching staff to actually start fucking coaching. It had nothing to do with whether he was good or not. It had everything to do with they changed their entire fucking scheme. It was hey, I provided a fucking player. Now if you don't win, you're all fucking fired. So okay, I guess in that sense, but you could have filled out with any player, and you definitely didn't need a first round pick. It still wasn't a good deal. I mean, okay, it was a good deal for Jerry Jones. Tell me who else it was a good deal for, because that dude made a shit ton of money off a playoff win. Who else got paid off of that?
Whoever got the first round pick. The Raiders?
The Raiders will.
Yeah, the Raiders got a first round pick out of it. I mean, it'll be a middle of the road first round pick because the Cowboys won't finish at the bottom, but they won't finish at the top. So you'll get a first round pick somewhere in the high teens, low 20s.
Yeah, but if you're not picking one or two, your pick doesn't.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not a very valuable first round pick, but they got a first round pick out of it. Hey.
They're gonna get a really good player on a really cheap contract. That's what they got out of it.
Yeah.
It's far superior to have that pick. I mean, look, they could draft one of these fucking wide receivers that, has amazing measurables now and pay them, a tenth of what they're paying Amari Cooper.
That's true. Young wide receivers are a dime a dozen, and look at Brandon Cooks. Brandon Cooks was amazing for the first 3-4 years that he was in the league, but then he kind of lost half a step, and now all of a sudden defenses are keeping up with him. He's not getting the number of receptions that he got in those first 3 years when he was lighting it the fuck up.
Well, I just think that John Gruden's smarter than everybody gave him credit for. Because do you think they were going to win anything with Khalil Mack this year?
No.
Were they making the playoffs?
Was not going to make them into a playoff team. No.
No, and he got 2 first rounders. He got a butt ton of stuff for it, and they didn't have to pay him. And they were bad, so their draft picks better. They get rid of Amari Cooper. They get better draft picks. If you're not going to win it all, then what the fuck is the point? Yeah. It was absolutely the right move.
Yeah, might as well race to the bottom if you're not going to race to the top.
Because having all that young cheap talent is far superior to having guys that make $20 million a year. That's 5 guys. That's 5 draft picks by not signing him.
Yeah, that's true.
It's having studs and guys on cheap contracts. That's all the NFL is.
Yeah. Drafting well enough that enough of your talent is still on that first 4-year deal that you can fucking afford to have 1 or 2 expensive pieces.
Sure.
And this is how I know John Gruden. This is how I'm telling you. John Gruden understands what he's doing, because they were fucking shopping Derek Carr like that dude had an expiration date on him at the combine. They were fucking shopping that dude hard, and they're gonna get somebody to bite, and then you're gonna get Fitzmagic again next year in Oakland.
God, that dude is gonna retire with 20 different jerseys in his closet.
Yeah, and then he
is going to get passed around from team to team as the patch quarterback to get them through for the next fucking 5 years.
That guy turned less than a full season's worth of great games into a lifetime of good contracts.
Do you know what I want to see? Do you know what the future? If I could pick Ryan Fitzpatrick's future after playing 2 more years in Oakland and getting another $30 million. I want to see him retire and move next door to Jay Cutler and be on Jay Cutler's wife's show, Very Cavallari, and just get Ryan Fitzpatrick and Jay Cutler with their beards hanging outside talking to fucking llamas.
Oh my God.
Dude, that show looks strangely hilarious. He seems to be the star of that show.
He is the star of that show.
Yeah, they're trying to do this show about these famous rich bitches. And Jay Cutler happens to be the trophy husband of one of these famous rich bitches.
So who is Jay Cutler married to, and why is she famous?
Her name's Cavallari. I don't know.
Yeah,
She's
I don't
she's
know if it's
she's
old
got
money or
she's
what.
got like an interior design business. They fucking have a farm. She just bought him a llama for his birthday.
A
Yeah.
llama?
Yeah,
A llama.
He now has a llama that like lives in his front yard,
But
and
the
apparently a
ladies
chicken as well.
the ladies
There's chickens
love
out there,
Jay
too.
Cutler.
Yeah, and
Okay.
he's just the same sort of like slightly sourpuss, like frumpy Jay Cutler that we got in the NFL.
Yeah, with
Just
that
like
with that
all
don't
time.
give a fuck look on his face.
All the time.
Very
It's amazing.
Very don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
It's hilarious.
smoking Jay Cutler.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Ladies love Jay Cutler. He is the darling of E or Bravo, whatever network that's on. They love him. It's fantastic. And the other rumor that I heard about quarterbacks coming out of the combine is that the Redskins are making a hard push for acquiring Chosen Rosen.
Yes. Yeah,
Redskins.
I've seen that rumor very persistently.
Really, the Washington racial slurs are going after the chosen Rosen.
Which means that Kyler Murray's going number one in the draft.
Yep, gonna go play for what's his name, the guy that was too
Cliff
good for
Kingsbury?
USC but too bad for Oklahoma or wherever it was. Like got kicked out of one job, got another job, and then left that to go to the NFL.
Congratulations, Cliff Kingsbury. You're going to ruin Arizona for 3 years.
Man.
Yep. Sorry, Arizona fans, but your life does not look good anytime soon.
My man crush on David Johnson's been drying up by the minute.
Have you seen Arizona's GM?
No.
He looks like the guy sitting at the third seat in from the corner at any Midwestern dive bar.
All right, I gotta see this.
Random redneck number 3 from the left.
Yeah, he's just a burly guy that looks like he, hangs out with Andy Reid at the buffet.
Is this him?
Yep.
This thing looking dude?
Yeah.
This
You didn't see that. You didn't
this
see that
big
guy at
toe.
the. You didn't see that guy at the dark all wood, dimly lit fucking bar with peanuts on the floor,
Yeah.
drinking out of a mug.
Yeah,
Yeah,
big ass mug of beer sitting in front of him, head kind of hung down a little bit.
Yeah.
T-shirt, probably wife beater and a pair of jeans.
That's a guy who's got a yellow stain on his white shirt
Yep.
at the cookout.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the guy.
And that's the look he has on his face when he's discovered the yellow stain.
Yeah.
That scowl.
That's how he looks after his fucking 12-year-old nephew beat him at horseshoes.
What's the one the kids are all playing? They don't play horseshoes anymore.
Cornhole.
Cornhole. Yeah.
Yep. I remember back when playing cornhole was just something rednecks did at the parking lot of Jimmy Buffett concerts.
Did this guy's wife just ask him to take out the trash?
Yes.
Oh, absolutely. And he's he's not giving that look to her. He's giving that look to the empty space near her because he doesn't dare look at her like that.
Okay, we're gonna have to save this and turn this into a couple of honey take out the trash memes.
Absolutely.
All right.
That's
Let's how about we move along to some NBA
No,
news,
hold on,
since
hold
that's
on.
kinda
I got
going
no.
out there.
Hold on. We have the biggest NFL conspiracy right now.
Uh-oh. Tinfoil hat time. Let's go.
The fucking Rams are pulling it over everybody's eyes right now. All of a sudden, Todd Gurley's been diagnosed with arthritis in his knees.
Yeah. That was the biggest moment of this past week when I saw that come across the newswire. I was like, oh, look, it's the shit that everyone suspected back in the last 2 games of the playoffs, but they wouldn't say shit about.
We're gonna find out that Gurley in like 2 weeks is gonna get scoped on his knees, and that's how they're covering up the fact that he probably had like a torn PCL and kept playing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is that an acceptable out for violating the league's reporting injuries?
Yeah, that's a good point because the league does have policies in place that say you have to disclose serious injuries to
Is arthritis not a serious enough injury that it would need to be on their injury report? Like, is there a list of official injuries that you have to report and then some things that you don't have to report?
Yeah, that's a good question. Is arthritis considered just like normal inflammation and wear and tear as opposed to an injury that would need to be reported?
I don't know, but this is the question that some fucking reporter should ask Belichick. Belichick would have the fucking answer to this. Like, this is a question that would actually get him. Hey, Bill, is arthritis in your knees an injury that you have to disclose on the injury report? We just figured we'd go to the injury report expert.
Yeah. If anyone knows how to manipulate the injury report, it's old Senior.
And Belichick's smart enough; he'd know what you were asking, and he would fucking throw the Rams under the bus, drive it back and forth over them, fucking open the door, let the school children out to run all over the body. He'd fucking bury them. It'd be fantastic.
He would. He so would.
All right, so why isn't that question being asked?
Because nobody actually wants to get the answer. The NFL's not gonna. The NFL let all this shit slide because they wanted Todd Gurley in the games, and they wanted, like, they're not in it to fucking hurt themselves. Like, it was good to have Todd Gurley in there. Do you think anybody bets on the fucking Rams if Gurley's not playing in the Super Bowl or he's injured?
That's true. If he wasn't there from the start of the playoffs, which was probably when he was injured, do the Rams really have the run they have?
Well, he was still injured a little bit in the regular season because he missed 1 or 2 games at the end of the regular season, right?
He got injured in week 11.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, no, this is a deep issue.
They did
it here.
And the NBA is fully complicit in all this shit.
The NBA or NFL?
I mean, NFL.
Yeah, I can see that. Because you're right, they want Todd Gurley in. They're going to do everything they can to get him in, huh?
Yeah, they want him there. They want him there. And you know what? It's one of those things that if he turns out to have surgery, why shouldn't every person that that made a Rams bet and lost be allowed to sue the NFL, the Rams, for lying? Like, if gambling's legal, they better fucking abide by the rules.
Right.
They defrauded people.
So that makes me wonder where the line is. Are there injuries that you don't have to report to the NFL? Or do they need to know about every hangnail you get? Do they need to know every time you stub your toe?
Let me ask you a different question, because we'll take it away from gambling. Should advertisers be able to sue? Because the game is supposed to be of a certain magnitude. You pay a certain amount of money because of the audience. Did the NFL, under false pretenses, allow the Rams to lie and defraud the cable network?
Can you say definitively beforehand, when the contract was drawn up, that there will be ratings of a set or approximated value associated with that game at that time? Or are you basically telling them you're buying time and whatever happens at that time happens at that time? You know?
It's just a question, like, why would you want to do business with somebody that's going to openly lie to you?
Because it's the NFL and people just want to be associated with the NFL.
Even though we've established that it's the dumbest bunch of fucking owners, general managers, and coaches out there, they're the least intelligent.
I think some of this is money blindness. Like, they are so fixated on making every dollar they can make that they don't see how they're fucking it up.
Yeah, but they had to put in rules to interview minority candidates so that they would actually hire the best people, because they were actively not hiring the best people. Yeah, it was cronyism at its finest.
They were just recycling, like, Jeff Fisher over and over again. It's just, here you go, move your family over to this city and coach for them for a couple of years. And 3 years later he gets fired and moves his family to a different city and he's coach over there.
Rich, can you explain why putting the policy in place helped put the best candidate out there? Because a lot of people are under the impression that this policy being in place helped people that were not as qualified get these positions.
Well, the policy for what it is was just to they have to interview minority candidates for head coaching positions only. So it's not even a complete policy. It doesn't force them to take in and actually interview people. It allows them really to hire anybody they want as assistant coaches. And from everything we can see, it's the assistant coaches that then go on to become head coaches. So if you're not making them hire a representative or even hire the best coaches, they can just keep paying their friends. And if they're all doing it, then they're all coaching at a mediocre level and they're all on a level playing field. It's why Belichick keeps fucking winning, because that guy only hires the best people. And as for all the failures of people that go on to become people from Belichick's staff that go on to become head coaches, that they don't have the greatest track record, they do have a fantastic track record as being the best assistant coaches, and Belichick's fingerprints are insane throughout the league in terms of guys that have coached for him and on other people's staffs for assistant coaches. He's got the best offensive line coach. The second best offensive line coach was the guy that filled in for the other guy in New England. So Belichick clearly has an eye for talent. He typically has a fairly diverse staff. It's not the worst in the league, but like
his defensive coordinator did just get a head coaching gig.
Right. But like, I've never understood the idea of cronyism because it seems counterintuitive to actually having the best product. Like, I understand keeping it in the family and wanting to take care of your friends and people around you. Sure. But that doesn't behoove the person that's doing the cronyism, which seems counterintuitive. But like I said, it's a league filled with fucking idiots, and yet somehow they just keep making more money.
All right. Well, that should wrap up some NFL discussion for the day. Let's move on to the NBA. Rich, you said you had a lot of things you wanted to talk about in the NBA. What's on your mind?
Can we start with the Celtics? I'm going to beat this into the ground. Every single fucking person, the articles all over the place. We got to write off the Celtics. They're no longer a contender. They're no longer this. They're no longer that. They're totally out of it.
I'm not writing the Celtics off until the playoffs get here.
But here's the thing. Vegas hasn't written them off. Their odds are as good as they've ever been. So who do you trust? That the Cheeto-fingered fat guy writing the article that we need to, write off the Celtics, or do you trust Vegas?
Yeah, Vegas does seem to know what it's doing.
One makes way more money than the other. Yep. That's number one. Number two, and I need your help on this, because I talked to John about this earlier. I had this thought. Now I need to know, is it a half-baked thought, fully baked thought, or was I entirely too high when I thought this up?
Okay, so new segment here.
Yeah.
Half-baked,
fully baked,
overbaked. Or
Kyrie Irving.
Burnt.
Kyrie Irving is the greatest troll in the history of trolls, and that he has totally been fucking with everybody all year long, and nothing that he says should actually be taken at face value.
Well, nothing he said should be taken at face value, but I don't know if that's because he's a troll or if he's just annoying.
Come on, Kyrie went to Duke, right?
Yeah, for
and he
a semester.
And then he tried to convince us that he thinks that the world is flat.
He was there for one semester and 2 weeks of another semester.
You have to have some sort of intelligence level to get into Duke, even to play basketball.
Yes, for sure. And I'm not saying he's unintelligent. I'm just saying don't assume that because he went to Duke that he will be of a higher level of thought just because he went to a prestigious university.
I mean, okay,
You know?
well, I'm just saying he didn't go to a garbage school that will take
Yeah.
anybody for anything.
No, it wasn't like San Diego State or something like that. You know?
Right.
Kawhi Leonard's very upset at you for that. But number two, back to John's
I'm okay
point.
with that.
He convinced the entire United States that he actually thought the world was flat.
Right.
Doesn't Herm Edwards coach for San Diego State now?
I don't know.
Arizona State.
Okay, cool. I definitely don't want to piss off Herm Edwards.
Kyrie made us all believe that he actually thought the world was flat. And he's just fucking with us. He made a movie of him as an old guy pretending to suck at basketball, and it's clearly just him trolling fucking people as an old guy. Like, he's just trolling everybody. He told us that he called LeBron and apologized. Do any of us actually believe that fucking happened? And that Kevin Love just happened to be standing next to LeBron at that exact moment?
Why would Kevin Love say, "Oh yeah, this conversation happened"?
That's what's been reported.
Yeah.
Kevin Love and LeBron were hanging out when Kyrie called to apologize.
Well, when he called the first time, apparently there were 2 phone calls, and the first one LeBron sent to voicemail because he was with Kevin Love, and the second time, shortly after the first time, when LeBron wasn't with Kevin Love, he took the phone call and got an apology.
Like, come on, if I was fucking with you and told you that was happening, that's a fucking story I would tell you. And then he says one thing one week, and then he says the exact fucking opposite thing 3 days later, and then he fucking says a totally different thing 3 more days later. Nothing that he says makes any sense. You're telling me the guy's he's really a fucking schizophrenic, and he's talking to the stick man and the owl guy and every other person in between? No, he's just fucking with everybody. He's totally just trolling every single person in the media. He's doing the exact opposite of a Kevin Durant.
He did show up at like a pep rally at the start of the season to reassure Boston fans that he was going to be signing there at the end of the season. And now he's basically talking to reporters about how I don't know nobody's shit, and I'm going to do what's best for me and my family. And it's just like, oh shit.
He's the greatest fucking troll in the history of the NBA.
Yeah,
What do you think?
It's possible.
Where do you put that on the scale? Is that half baked, fully baked, or burnt?
It's not half baked. I hate to say that. I mean, it's definitely a possibility.
Sure. I don't think it's burnt.
No, I think we're gonna have to call it baked.
All right, fully baked.
All right.
Fully baked.
That is a fully baked theory there, sir.
All right. You ready?
Yes.
All right.
Kevin Durant is the most emotional person you've ever met in your life.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
I mean,
so-
that dude is very in his emotions.
All right. So does that become half baked? Because it's the most likely. Is that where we're at? How do we rate this, Rich?
I don't know. That's up to you guys.
I agree
Definitely.
with you strongly.
Yeah.
So where does that fit on the scale of?
I guess maybe we'll call this theory burnt because I mean it's not really necessary. We all agree on it. It's done.
So when Kyrie and KD team up in New York, do we get to nickname them the Rainbow Connection? Because KD's the most emotional and Kyrie's the biggest troll, and they're in New York from the Muppets. They can now be called the Rainbow Connection.
Maybe the Cupcake Connection.
You guys are getting really early with these nicknames, especially when there's going to be a Mount Zion in the air at the same time too.
Yeah, and the Rainbow Connection will be floating over the Mount Zion, taking them all to the promised land.
Now, if we could just get what who was it? Chris Rock said, Coach Pat Riley, just lead them to the promised land. That's all we need. Just get us to the playoffs.
So here's my other question.
What's your other question?
Why are NBA players on the whole so unhappy? None of them are ever fucking happy about anything. They're the grumpiest, bitchiest group of people.
Because they're skilled athletes that all wish they were rapping.
That's why they're so cranky. Like, they
So-
honestly, they bitch about everything.
I mean, I don't mean that they all necessarily want to be on albums rapping, but I think there's a grind to the NBA lifestyle, and they would rather be living the boats and hoes lifestyle.
Oh yeah.
Well, isn't LeBron James and 2 Chainz album dropping soon?
Maybe. I don't know.
Wait, you don't know about this?
No.
LeBron James and 2 Chainz are dropping an album like any day.
Like, wait, and what's LeBron doing on the album? Like posing for the cover?
I don't fucking know.
Hold on.
All right, Brady's getting hard at the keyboard on that one. So, what other NBA stories do you want to talk about, Rich?
In that same vein of cranky, unhappy NBA players, what's with this fucking jersey swap? I don't get it. From the NFL to the NBA. We got a fucking...
It's a Euro thing. It just made its way over here because some of the NBA players like to watch soccer.
Are we in Europe?
This has been going on in soccer for a while? The jersey swapping?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
It's something that like really top tier players will do when they play against each other in really big matches.
Why? Because these guys aren't fucking hanging out all summer long on a yacht playing Blu-ray? Like, they're not fucking chilling all the time in the club? Like, they gotta fucking hold hands and skip around the court like they're best friends? Make every fan believe that they don't give a shit about anything? I'm sorry, we want our players to fucking not sing Kumbaya and strum the guitar and swap jock straps after the game.
Yeah, I mean, I can see rare situations, but I mean, when was the last time you think Tom Brady got to keep a jersey?
Never. If Tom Brady wants a jersey, he gets his fucking guy in the locker room. He tells him, go over there, go to the other locker room and get a jersey. He's not standing on the field taking a fucking picture. They're not laughing and giggling they're not trying to fucking win. Like, lie to us. Make us feel like you care. Because you're all gonna fucking change teams and do whatever you want. It's player empowerment, and they're gonna kill their shit because none of the fans care about it anymore. This fucking belief that their player empowerment, internet love, all their clips on House of Highlights and all that shit that people care. Hey, guess what? Nobody's watching your fucking product, NBA. The ratings are down. No one actually fucking watches, and if no one watches, no one gets fucking paid.
That's true.
Yes.
I mean, if you can't sell ad space, what can you sell?
Well, Brady,
You know-
like you found something over there a second ago. What you got?
It's not giving me any of the apparently LeBron James is on one of the tracks on the new 2 Chainz album that dropped today, but the track list that it's giving me doesn't give the width.
Okay.
It just gives the track name.
We'll look into that and report more on it next week because I'm sure
Yeah.
it's horrible.
Yeah, I'm trying. It's just being difficult.
You know why Kobe's so beloved, other than the whole Colorado incident and a $4 million ring to his wife?
Why?
Because he wanted to fucking win. That's why Laker fans like him. He wasn't the best Laker ever. He was just a ruthless, cold-hearted son of a bitch.
He was determined as fuck. He's going to beat you however the fuck he had to do it.
He
Oh,
the last shot a certain percentage of the time. You knew that all he wanted to do was rip that guy's heart out, stomp on his chest, and steal your girl. Like, that is all he wanted to fucking do. He wanted to stomp across home plate and be like, look at the scoreboard now, Buddha.
Kobe the killer.
It's a fair point.
Like, I was never a big Kobe fan. I'm becoming more of a Kobe fan now that he's not playing because I can see all the people that don't have that mentality. Like,
Very
I don't
true.
care. Fuck your AAU basketball and bringing that shit to the NBA. I never watched AAU. I played AAU, never watched that shit. Because when I played AAU, it meant something. You wanted to win. Now it's about fucking tracksuits and shoes.
It's not untrue.
And you know what? Kobe agrees with me. He says that Harden's never going to win a championship.
Yeah. There are very few players with that Kobe gene in the NBA right now.
Because you know what these
Most of
fucking...
them are the older players. There's like almost no young players with that Kobe mentality. Because, I mean, even young Kobe with like the little poofy fro still had that same mentality.
Yeah, that dude took Brandy to his prom.
Yeah.
How did we not know that guy was going to be a fucking winner?
Pimpin' ain't easy unless your name is Kobe.
He took who to the prom?
Brandy.
When he was in high school.
Yeah.
Because Kobe
When else
came
do you
out
go to the
from
prom?
high school.
Well, yeah. I'm just trying to wrap my head around it. Slow down over there.
Yeah, that's how impressive he was. He was chasing Brandy at the prom.
Wow. All right. Well, tip of the hat to Kobe.
You know what bothers me about all these fucking stat nerds and all their shit about threes are worth more than twos and this, that, or the other thing? The big stat they preach is that if you shoot 45% from two and 33% from three, that a three-pointer on average becomes more valuable than a two-pointer. That's their big fucking stat that they cling to like it's their fucking teddy bear and they're a 4-year-old. That this is the stat, the math works. Well, you know what all these people do? It's the same fucking shit with all these technology companies. You know what they seem to lack because they all sit in their fucking little cubicles and bang away on keyboards? They don't understand that there's actually humans that do this. And for some reason, they're not going to get it through their heads that when James Harden is out at the strip club in between every fucking game and then he gets a little bit of pressure, that he's going to go 0 for 11 from the field in that fourth quarter. And guess what? Shooting 0 fucking percent is less than whatever you shoot from two.
I don't know. Every time someone tries to convince me that a three-pointer is worth more than a two, I agree with them.
All I want for the NBA playoffs is the Spurs versus the Rockets in round one. That's all I want. Because I want to see Popovich just whip his giant fat hog out and slap it right on the middle of the court and be like, what? We beat you shooting twos. So take all your stat nerds, pack it all up, and go the fuck home.
I would be thoroughly entertained by that. And I hate to admit it, but and this sounds bitter as fuck, but I would be thoroughly entertained by that.
Because do you know who shoots when DeRozan and LaMarcus Aldridge are not on the court, that San Antonio shoots the third most three-pointers? Like, everybody that says that they don't shoot three-pointers has no fucking clue what they're talking about. Their two best players shoot twos. So guess what Popovich has them do? Shoot twos. The rest of their team, good at shooting threes. So guess what the rest of the team does? Shoot fucking threes.
Yeah.
And the rest of the NBA is trying to take a square peg and put it in a round hole.
Sorry about that. A little distraction for a moment. Yeah. You right over there, Rick?
That was kind of a funny delivery, but we'll roll right along through that and try to act like.
Did you see Steph Curry last night going to the stands after the game?
No, what did Steph Curry do?
Oh, jeez.
Apparently, after they were done beating Philly in Philly,
Yeah.
that a Warriors fan was in a scuffle with a security guard, and Steph Curry went up into the stands to break it up for the Warriors fan.
Wow.
Good for him.
Even on the road, he's got his fans back.
Meanwhile, Russell Westbrook is picking fights with 10-year-old kids at Nuggets games.
Yeah, no shit.
I just want you to know that little kid deserved it.
Wow.
Wow. Way to come down with the hammer, Rich.
I'm sorry. Do you see if your kids just start hitting some stranger in the grocery store, is that cool?
No, definitely
No.
And it's
So
not
that guy,
cool.
that kid's parents are shitty parents, and the fact that they could afford to have those seats and not teach their kid to keep his fucking hands to himself, that kid should be sent back to kindergarten, and he should learn not to eat paste and not to hit the other kids in the class.
The kid
And
was
if he
10 years old, so that would make him, what, a 5th grader?
Yeah.
4th grade, maybe?
fifth,
Okay,
you
so-
subtract 5.
Subtract 5. Okay, 5th grade, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that kid's parents obviously paid for him to get advanced out of kindergarten because he clearly didn't learn the fucking rules.
Wow.
It's ridiculous. Why are we bashing Russ? The NBA lets fans sit on the court. What if that, like, hey, listen, that kid could have had anything. What if that kid had fucking measles because his parents were anti-vaxxers and he's rubbing his measles all over Russell Westbrook? That's not fair to Russ.
all right. Well, thank you for the alternative view on this.
Yeah, thank you for taking that out to an unnecessary extreme.
It's not an extreme. That kid didn't wash his hands after he went to the bathroom.
And that's
Like,
what
what
we
if
come
I-
down to debate. What are the odds
Wow.
that this kid washed his hands after the bathroom? Are you saying 40%?
What if Russ went after the press conference and was like, hey, I saw that kid. He had his hands in his pants. He wiped his nose and then he touched me. I told him, get better hygiene. You think everybody's hating on Russ now?
That would have been much, much, much bigger, better news story.
Much
'Cause
funnier,
where's the-
too.
Where's the video of this kid picking his nose and licking his hand? We can't release that tape.
Well, is it entirely possible that the kid wasn't doing anything gross and was just odd that Russell Westbrook, his hero, was about 2 feet away from him, so just touched his arm?
Have you met many kids? They all do odd shit. That's what
Yeah.
kids do.
Oh, yeah.
There's a 0% chance that kid wasn't doing something odd. 0.
I agreed. So I don't know. It just didn't seem like an assault type situation, which it felt like the reaction might have been from Russ.
I think Russ was well within his. It's not like Russ punched the kid. He yelled at him.
Yeah, from what I understand, he yelled at his dad. It wasn't even him. It was
Yeah.
he said something to his dad about, "Hey, watch your kid." You
Yeah.
shouldn't
Good
have
for
that with
him.
strangers."
He didn't say anything to the kid. He just gave the kid the biggest "I'm gonna eat your soul" face that you could ever imagine.
They should have kicked the dad out and told the kid, "Hey, you can stay, but if you get up, we're kicking you out too." Where was that kid's harness? Don't these millennial parents put their kids on harnesses these days?
Yeah, I have a 3 and a 4-year-old child, neither of which has been on a harness.
Maybe the NBA should hand out harnesses if your kid's gonna sit courtside, and you got to tether him to the chair.
So it's like having NBA games sort of a prison.
I just, why are we letting these kids run on the court? The kid was, they should have teed him up, thrown him
kid's
out.
Parents definitely paid the cost for that. So, I mean, there's no. He had the right to be there. He didn't have the right to touch Russ, but
I need to see this kid's parents on Dr. Phil's show. And Dr. Phil needs to ask these parents why they have no control over their Chueco kid.
their what kid?
Chueco.
Treco?
Chueco.
Chueco?
Yeah.
What is
That's-
what is a Chueco?
I don't know.
That's
but it
for our
sounds funny.
Spanish audience. They'll know.
Okay,
It sounds funny, so I'm gonna roll with it.
all right, I'm with it.
It sounds funny and offensive, so I'm gonna allow it.
I learned if you say offensive things in foreign languages, you can get away with it. That's a rule, right?
Yeah, especially if you're ignorant, you just say it with a smile on your face and nodding.
Yeah. I mean, much easier to call someone a pinchy pendejo than call them a little bitch.
Oh,
So
wow, I knew what that meant.
Yeah, I agree. Hey, why didn't we make a big deal about the other kid who blew out his shoe in college basketball this week?
meow.
Because he's not Zion Williamson. Now tell us more, because I had no idea there was another kid that blew out his shoe this week. And was it a Nike?
Yeah. Was this another severed stitch incident?
Hold on, I'm gonna Google it. I'm pretty sure the kid's name was Josh Allen. No, maybe it's Jordan Allen. Yeah, kid blew out his shoe. I'll find it on Twitter. Yeah, kid blew out his shoe. No one cares. No one asks if this kid needs to sit out the rest of the year. Like, do we not care about other college athletes?
Yeah, I guess not. Did he hurt himself?
I don't think so.
Well, there's another reason you don't care about it. Zion's the biggest thing, and he got hurt.
Did he?
Maybe. A low-grade knee sprain from what I heard. Is he coming back for the ACC tournament? That's the only question about Zion anybody cares about right now.
Of course he's going to come back.
He already came back?
Apparently he came back for the second UNC game and left with vertigo.
That was Roy Williams.
Sorry, that's Roy Williams. Sorry.
No, it was Justin Smith.
My bad.
In the Indiana-Wisconsin game, and it was an Adidas.
Wow.
Damn.
One day ago, Duke Star Rudolph versus Miami on Saturday.
Damn, so these little Asian kids that are making all these shoes in these sweat factories need to tighten their fucking game up.
Wow.
Can't even find a picture of it.
Our competitive product with their lack of labor efficiency.
All right, and what else do we have in the NBA to talk about, Rich? We rounded out there?
Yeah, I think that's it. I refuse to speak on LeBron because I already, let everybody know that LeBron was going to be, injured very soon.
Yeah, we're definitely going to be looking forward to that because they've had a couple of rough losses, including yesterday to the league's worst Suns.
Yeah, that was pretty fucking horrible. How do you lose to the Suns?
Apparently, they can only lose one more game, and then that's it. And they're done. Not really, but if they don't.
Well, they need something like 20 wins at this point to make sure they keep up with the rest of the teams and get enough wins in the standings to pass two teams to get them into the 7th spot.
They're not making the playoffs. It's all over. It's the second picture, John. It's all over. It's LeBron will, he's gonna pull a hamstring or something's gonna happen and he's got to go do Space Jam 2.
Blew that shit. Look at that shoe.
IU men's game versus the Badgers.
Ooh.
Yeah, no one cares. Why does no one care?
Because he's not the number one pick.
And he didn't get hurt.
There's two reasons right there why no one cares.
I'm just saying we need to. What happened to equality in this country? We don't treat people the same. Everybody doesn't get the same shake in this country.
Hell no.
They've got the
That's
same.
like the biggest lie on the planet right now.
Yeah, everybody starts at the same line.
Yeah.
Like, does nobody care that dude from OKC did the same dunk in college slam dunk contest? Like, nobody cares about that?
Is that Hamidou Diallo?
Yeah.
The one that dunked over Shaq?
Yeah. That he had already done that dunk, that it was already on tape. Like, no one cares. Everybody acted like it was the first time he ever did it.
I mean, he jumped over Shaq or he jumped over another tall person?
Another tall person, because I don't think Shaq was showing up to his college dunk contest.
Right.
Yeah,
That's what I was wondering. Okay. I think it might have been a little added interest because it was Shaq. I mean, that's a very large human being to be jumping over.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know.
all right, well, the last thing I think we're going to be talking about tonight is last night there was a UFC pay-per-view event. A lot of good fights. Where'd you want to start off with that?
I'm sorry that I gave out a loser and that Tyron Woodley Got his ass kicked.
Oh,
Kamaru
man.
Usman came to fucking brawl. He made hamburger out of fucking Woodley's ribs. Oh my god.
It was a UFC
Oh.
record in 192 body punches.
Yeah. Oh.
He was he looked like he was Rocky tenderizing a big piece of meat in the freezer,
Yeah. He was just fucking throwing those body blows.
working the
Oh.
body, working it.
Oh. It was painful to watch.
So it's okay. I mean, I don't think anybody's gonna be mad at you, Rich. But yeah, was that unexpected for you?
Yeah, and then the fact that Woodley's not even going to get a rematch. They're giving Colby Covington Kamaru Usman. And listen, Colby Covington is the reincarnation of Chael Sonnen. That guy is a great troll, and he's just going around fucking with people on Twitter, fucking with Dana White. He's played the bad guy role to perfection. He knows what he's
Was
doing.
that the chubby guy with the curly hair that was in the earlier fight? That was talking shit?
No.
That
That's
was
Ben
the dude that
Askren.
was wearing the "Make America Great" hat, right, sitting on the side with the other belt. Because
No, the guy that was fighting earlier that got dumped on his head and then got up and won the fight.
yeah, we know who you're talking about. What we're saying is the guy.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Never mind. Sorry.
Yeah, two different people. But Ben Askren did go hard in the paint
Yo.
at Dana White's for several years.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what. His fight was very impressive because he had his noodle knocked. I think we were talking about it looked like he was knocked out with a punch, then woken up by the next punch, and then came back and knocked out the dude. Choked him out, right?
Yeah.
3 fights. In 3 fights, that dude will have a belt.
Wow.
Ben Askren is fucking the real deal.
Yeah.
I was surprised he got up from getting dropped on his head like that because that slam was impressive. Like, I thought he was knocked out after that slam, but I think one of the punches he took immediately after the slam woke him right back up. So
What was that at 185? That fight, was that a light heavyweight fight?
I think so. That or it was welterweight. So
It was
like
that or the
170.
175.
Yeah.
It's 170.
Oh, then no, it might have been 185 because Askren weighed 176, if I remember correctly. Yo, he gave fat dudes everywhere a little bit of hope.
Yeah, he definitely came in there looking chubby as fuck.
It's
Where-
that Cormier thing.
Yeah.
Like Daniel Cormier, I love the dude. He's like a fat dude champion. He's got that meme where he's got like 2 pieces of chicken and he's dancing and he's like eating one bite over here, eating one bite over here.
DC's the best. It was 175. It was welterweight.
Okay.
Okay, so 175.
Yeah, so you'll get 170. It's not 175. It goes 155, 170, 185, 205.
Okay.
So Kamaru Usman will fight Colby Covington, and we'll get. I guarantee you, we get Ben Askren, Tyron Woodley. Even though they're best friends, they might not take that fight. They wrestled together in college,
Okay.
so it'll be. You'll get Usman, Colby Covington. Askren will get somebody else, and then Askren will be the champ after that.
So you think the next fight he'll fight a random dude, and then after that he'll get his chance at the title?
Yeah, I'm not sure who it'll be, but he'll fight somebody good. Maybe they'll make him wait, but I think he'll have 3 in his 3rd fight from now. It'll be for a championship, and he'll get it.
Okay.
He's the real fucking deal.
I was very impressed with his come from sure defeat to coming back and winning it, and it's not like he, took the pounding, and then fought back slowly, and earned the respect. No, he was getting knocked out 1 minute, and 1 minute later he was choking the dude out.
Yeah, he's got some of the best fucking wrestling around. He's just
My friend who does some UFC fighting referred to it as wrestle fucking.
yeah. He's the best at that. Him and DC. That's DC style too. DC punching.
Was that kind of Khabib style too?
No, Khabib still punched you in the face a lot.
Okay.
No, Khabib's like a bear. He's just gonna fucking get on top of you and just rip you to pieces.
Okay.
But it'll be interesting. Like we need to see Khabib Tony Ferguson. That's the fight we need to see. We need to see John Jones, Brock Lesnar, and John Jones DC. We need to see those fights at heavyweight, not John Jones DC at light heavyweight. I don't want to see that fight.
No. DC should not fight at light heavyweight. They should fight at heavyweight. The gut is good for it.
You know,
How
maybe
much
we
does
get
DC weigh when he fights at heavyweight.
like 250, you know,
Yeah,
245.
And that's anything over 205?
Yeah.
Okay.
It goes from 205 and then it's under 265.
Well, so what happens if you're Butterbean? You're over 265.
You can't fight in the UFC.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like Lesnar has to cut weight to fight. Francis Ngannou sometimes has to cut weight to fight.
Yeah, just because they're so big, they're carrying, you know.
What about that dude that Brock Lesnar beat? That dude wasn't 265. Then he lost the drug test. Mark Hunt.
Mark Hunt? No, he gets in under the wire.
Okay.
You want to know who the greatest physical looking UFC fighter of all time? Like the guy that everybody goes, holy fuck, that's a human being?
Is he like that wide receiver that was at the combine?
Yeah, except this guy makes that guy look like the smallest person you've ever seen in your life. I'm talking, I don't know, like fucking 385 pounds with a fucking six-pack. I'm trying to see if there's a good picture where you can really like see what he fully looks like. But look up Bob Sapp. BOBSAPP. You could do Bob Sapp versus Nogueira.
Holy crap.
Here.
See this guy, Brady?
Yeah.
That's like Kimbo Slice big, but he looks taller and the same type of build.
Yeah.
No, he's fucking huge.
Yeah.
When he
that's
fought-
a monster.
I'm trying to see how tall he was. I bet he was like he's 6'4".
I've got the
320 pounds.
Here.
Look at that dude. 6'4", 320 pounds.
Look at this one.
Damn.
He was fighting a big boy too.
Yeah.
And he could fight for real. If you want to see a fight that'll fucking blow your mind, you watch Bob Sapp versus Nogueira in Pride. Bob Sapp is literally picking up Nogueira and just slamming him down. Just like Nogueira's on his arm trying to get him in an armbar, and Bob Sapp's just waving him around everywhere, slamming him on the thing, drops him on his head, just beats the fuck out of Nogueira for like 15 minutes. Nogueira eventually can't see out of one eye, has literally been power driven on his head, is just trying to cling to Bob Sapp in any way he can with his jiu-jitsu until he eventually gets him in an armbar and gets Bob Sapp to tap.
Wow.
And Nogueira's like fucking like 5'10", 240 pounds or some shit.
Crazy.
Is one of the greatest MMA fights of all time. But that's what, like, the fact that we're the same person as him who's 6'4", 320 pounds with a six-pack, like, get the fuck out of here. That dude's a killer. That's unbelievable. Like, I don't know how he's a human and I'm a human. He's so much better than I am.
Yeah, that's a monster of a man.
Yeah. No kidding.
Could you imagine if we had that dude fighting today?
No.
Like, that dude's Bobby Lashley if Bobby Lashley ate Bobby Lashley.
Wow.
That's how big that dude is.
Yeah, no kidding. He's huge. He is absolutely a terror. So,
So
what about last night? Was there anything else from last night you wanted to talk about?
I mean, are we? Is Cody Garbrandt done? Like, is he? Did T.J. Dillashaw take that dude's soul?
Maybe.
Yeah, I think he might have.
And Zabat's the real deal.
Zabat's the real deal?
You watched the Zabat fight versus Jeremy Stevens?
No, I don't know.
We came in at the first female fight.
Oh, so you missed Cody Garbrandt getting beat. You missed the prelims.
Yeah. Didn't see any of the prelims. We were at Benihana's.
Oh, getting your Benihana on.
Yeah, it was a friend of ours' birthday yesterday, so we
Yeah.
went out and celebrated.
Nothing
Yeah, my
like
cousin.
Benihana's. Oh.
What's that?
Yeah, I know, my cousin.
Oh, yeah, Mark. That's right.
For your birthday.
We went out and had a good time.
Yeah.
He's the one that got me into watching UFC. He used to
Really?
have all the pay-per-views. Like, I watched Cain Velasquez, Brock Lesnar at his place.
Okay. Well, make sure you give him a little shit for falling asleep at the end of the fights last night.
Oh, I will. He just texted me, actually.
Yeah.
So.
I think him and his woman nodded off at the end of the fights.
Yeah, I think so. Well, it was excusable. It was midnight. We'd all had a few drinks. They had several sakes.
Yeah, they were definitely hitting the sake.
Oh, well.
Awesome.
But those. So, can I tell you something that shocked me today?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's hear it.
I know I tell you hockey's not a sport. 'Cause it's not. It's nobody watches. And if nobody watches, does it actually happen? It's like if a tree falls in the woods and nobody's around to hear it, does it make a sound? If a team wins the Stanley Cup and there's nobody there to see it, does it actually happen?
Yeah, Alexander Ovechkin had a party train for about 2 weeks after his Stanley Cup.
Dude,
that
no.
would make
Let's be for real,
anyone
dude.
Proud.
He had a party train that began at the end of that game and went until the start of training camp for the next season.
He partied hard.
Like,
Let me
that
ask you a
dude
question.
Like that dude was at baseball games in DC with the Stanley Cup full of beer, doing keg
Hammered.
stands, drinking face down out of the Stanley Cup full of beer.
Let me ask you a question. What do you think got more airplay on ESPN? The Stanley Cup Finals or the Alexander Ovechkin post-finals summer party tour?
Post-summer party tour.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. That's my point. But apparently, history is being made in the NHL, and no one cares.
All right.
The Tampa Bay Lightning, fastest team to win 50 games ever in the history of the NHL.
Oh, they are fucking the world up.
Yep. But they don't talk about the NHL in the big sports news. You're right.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean there's not a passionate group of fans that do follow every play, every.
Yeah. The Lightning are currently 50, 12, and 4, 104 points in the standings. That is 17 points ahead of the second team in the East, the Boston Bruins, in the standings.
And how many games played is that with 52 wins?
66 games played out of an 82-game schedule, and oh, by the way, they are 9-1 in their last 10 games.
Oh, of course they are. So the Lightning are the team to beat in the East, huh?
Yeah, they are probably the team to suffer the curse of the President's Trophy this year.
All right.
So-
what about the
so
Western Conference?
Wait. No,
No.
time out.
What?
What are the chances that the
We lost
Bruins
Rich.
can the Bruins win?
Oh, for sure. Because they won't have to play Tampa Bay until the Eastern Conference Finals if both teams make it that far. So, yeah, the Bruins absolutely have a chance in a 7-game series. I mean, it's very rare in the NHL that the team with the best record at the end of the season is the team holding the cup at the end of the playoffs. Somehow that team always gets tripped up.
I don't think people are fully aware of this. The Celtics are good. The Bruins are good. Do you remember who won the baseball playoffs last year?
I believe it was the Red Sox.
The Red Sox won
Okay,
the World
and
Series.
who
Okay.
and who won the Super Bowl?
I believe that would be the Patriots. Is he trying to claim a Boston sweep here?
Or is the Boston Grand Slam a realistic thing?
No.
It did happen once, didn't it?
No.
I'm
When
pretty
did
sure- 'cause
when
the
did
last
one
time the
city win
Bruins
all
won-
4 majors?
Pretty sure the last time the Bruins won the cup,
No.
the either the Patriots won
Okay.
or the Red Sox won the same year, because it was a big deal. Because it was like, oh shit, these motherfuckers are getting spoiled out there with all these fucking wins.
Has the City Sports Grand Slam ever been done?
I don't think so. For all 4 major sports in one city, in one sports cycle, let's just say from
All 4 in a row. Doesn't matter. They have to win
from
all 4.
football to football. So it's football and then the following basketball and or do you want to start with baseball
I don't think it matters. I think we can go with the Tiger Slam. You just have to win all 4.
sequentially?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
How many? What is it? 9 cities that have all 4 major teams?
I think so. Yes.
So I'm looking at cities that have won multiple. We got Pittsburgh with the Steelers and Penguins in 2009.
Yep.
The Red Sox and Patriots in 2004.
Okay.
The Dodgers and Lakers in 88.
Ooh.
And that's it. That's the only time that even 2 teams, much less the 4.
So Boston's already done it once, now twice with 2 teams. And there's a it's a realistic possibility.
See,
And
Boston's
it's
not.
gotta be
Okay, I
old
guess
now,
this
'cause they
article
did it
is
this year.
older, but I mean
Yeah.
the Baseball World Series and the Super Bowl were different calendar years.
I'm talking Tiger Slam here. You just win all 4 at one city, holding all 4 trophies at the same time.
Would be incredible. Do you really see the Celtics and Bruins winning? Of course, you don't know any yet. No opinion on the Bruins, right?
No opinion. I give the Celtics a 15% chance.
And let's just assume that it's the same 15% chance for the Bruins. To
Yeah.
get them both to happen together would be what, 1.5% chance that happens?
It's very small. I don't think you can put a real percentage on it.
I think you should put $100 on that in Vegas.
Celtics Bruins to win
Yeah.
parlay
Yeah.
it together.
Yeah.
See what kind of odds you can get on that.
Is that something you could bet on?
Oh,
Yeah,
sure.
of course.
Yeah, that's a simple 2-team championship parlay. I'm pretty sure Rich could pull that off somehow.
Okay.
Hold on, I could tell you what it is right
It's just-
now.
Hold on. I got this.
I got this right now. Oh, there we go.
Damn.
$100 bet
Uh-huh.
on the Celtics and the Bruins to win the championship would return to you $40,200.
Damn.
I'm going to need you to repeat that because it didn't almost sound like a real bet.
$100 parlay for the Celtics to win the NBA championship and the Bruins to win the NHL championship. You would take that $100 ticket in your hand if they both won, and you would walk back to your window in Vegas and you give them the ticket, and then they would give you a briefcase with $40,200 in it.
Wow.
I would like to repeat my previous statement. Damn.
Holy crap.
For a hundy.
That I wish I had an extra $100 to light on fire right now because that is a far-fetched gamble that I believe could pay off.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, in a small percentage chance it could pay off, of course, but it could pay off, and that would really be.
It'd be impressive.
That'd be an average annual salary for a middle-class person with
Oh,
2 championships.
oh, and in our weekly NHL bunch of jerks update, the Hurricanes have moved from 7th to 6th place in the Eastern Conference.
Oh wow.
To put that in perspective, if you bet the Lightning and the Warriors, that same $100 bet, you'd make $425.
So the 2 predominant favorites would
Sure.
only
Correct.
be 425.
Yeah, not 40,000.
40,000. Wow. That's big time, Rich.
Yeah,
So what do you think? Would Vegas go out of their mind if that happened?
I think it'd be pretty intense because I feel like the
As you
Red
got
Sox and the
closer to
Pats.
that- Well, as you get closer to that, it would start to intensify. Like if both Boston teams were in the conference finals,
Yeah,
and then both Boston teams make it to the finals, more and more people would be putting money on that. You would have just been on that shit early as anything.
I firmly believe the Celtics will be in the Eastern Conference Finals. 100%.
What do you think, Brady? You're over there with the deep side. You don't believe that this is true? What do you like Toronto this year?
I don't know about the Celtics. They feel dysfunctional to me.
But this is
I don't want to bet on that long term. Will they get out of the first round? Yes. Will they get out of the second round? I honestly don't know. I feel like Milwaukee could trip them up very easily if they met in the second round. I feel like the Nets make a very solid matchup problem for the Celtics.
let me ask you a question. When you read all the stories after the championships, when we read the stories in the conference finals and after the playoffs and everything, they're great fucking stories, right? And you're like, oh, I wish I saw that earlier. Like, it would have been so cool if you knew when the shit was happening that would happen. Like, you
So
tell
saying
me.
if you had Biff's encyclopedic book of sports events from Back to the Future.
No, I'm saying people need to not be prisoners of the moment, and they need to try and think about what the story is going to be at the end of the year, because ultimately that's what most people do, is they like to read the story, and it's the story that we find compelling in sports. So we're in the middle of the story. You have to be able to anticipate how the story is going to end, because is it the NHL or the NBA playoffs? I don't know which ends first.
The NHL ends first. The NBA runs like a week or two after. Like the NBA finals pretty much begin when the NHL finals end.
So the story is going to be that the Bruins take down the Lightning and they're in the finals as the Celtics are marching into the Eastern Conference Finals to face off against Toronto and Kawhi.
All of a sudden, that $100 ticket in your pocket starts looking real shiny.
Yeah, you know what's great too is you could bet it, and then you can take that ticket, and there's a website called PropSwap. So if you bet futures, you can post them on there, and people can buy that ticket from you.
Wow.
So
That's
there was
pretty
a
cool.
so there was a dude earlier this year.
Someone else might buy that $100 bet off of you.
There was a guy.
Both Boston teams get to the conference finals. Why not cash out there at 10,000?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's an interesting proposition there.
If they both make it to their prospective finals, you're looking at 15 grand. And then you don't care. There was
You sell it for 15 grand, let somebody else ride it out and hope to get that 40 grand payout.
Right.
there was a guy sold a ticket on there during the before the NFC Championship game. Early in the year, he bet the Saints to win the Super Bowl for $8,000 at 30-1.
Okay.
Damn.
And what was it at the time of the conference championship?
The Saints were like a 2-1 favorite.
Yeah.
So how did he make out on his $8,000?
He sold it for half of what it was worth.
And
He sold.
What was it worth at that point?
$8 grand bet $140,000.
Yeah, he sold it for
half of that.
50. He sold it for like $58,000.
Hell yeah, nice payday, man. That's a nice come up.
And they lost.
And run. Yeah, exactly. He cashed out at the right moment.
Perfect.
He jumped ship right when he was supposed to. Good job for that guy.
Yeah, no doubt.
So but my point is, like, everybody's such prisoners of what's happening right now, right in front of us, that nobody thinks about the story. Like, Duke is not making the Final Four because of this reason. The story that Duke fucking runs through the entire NCAA and the one and done's a joke and that it's the greatest team ever assembled and it's not the story. You know what the story is? The running Rebels that were 31-0 didn't fucking win it. That this great team didn't win it and that great team didn't win it because they don't. When was the last time? When was the last time that a team just fucking walked through the entire tournament? I can tell you.
Tell me.
It was the UNC Cody or Tyler Zeller fucking teams with like Rashad McCants.
Yeah, with no NBA, like not necessarily all-star, but not like at best you've got like a couple of like 6th or 7th men in the NBA on that team. There is no starter level talent for the NBA on that UNC team.
You tell me the last time a team that was fucking loaded with NBA talent won. Ever been told, and it's not what's going to happen now. Like everybody's so fucking obsessed with right now that they're not seeing the whole story. The great story of our fucking generation right now is Boston doing the fucking Sports City Grand Slam.
That would be epic. And it could make someone a lot of money. Is it going to be you, Brady?
No, not going to be me.
Oh, come on. That's not exciting.
I do not have that $100 to light on fire right now.
How about you, Rich? Is it going to be you?
Fuck yeah, I'll bet it. I don't give a shit. It's $100.
Yeah, I think I want in on that action.
It's like 2 Robert Kraft hand jobs after taxes.
Especially again, if you can just bet that now and sell that at the conference championship if both teams get that far.
Which is exactly I'm a take the money now guy.
So would you bail out in the second round of the playoffs?
No, I think they would both have to make the finals for you to get paid on that.
The conference finals?
The NBA and NFL and NHL finals.
Okay, and that's where you would get $15,000.
Yeah. I would take a $15,000 profit for that.
Yeah, that would be intense.
Yeah, that's definitely a quick $15,000 come up. Don't get me wrong.
Could you imagine Kyrie finishing that, winning the title, and then just flipping off all the Boston fans and being like, fuck you, I'm going to New York?
That would be amazing.
I mean, we almost got the fucking Brady Belichick fuck you finish to our season that we called for in week 8. We almost got it. Instead,
and it was called down to a T. I mean, you called it beating the Rams. You called it pretty accurately.
The circle of life. I told you, let's just skip to that shit now. Nobody want to listen. But instead of fuck you, we got makeout sessions in the middle of the field from all of them.
Yeah, no kidding.
Do you think Brady, because he was kissing Kraft, has had to give Kraft a little handy every now and then as part of his contract?
You know I'm a meme guy, right? One of my favorite memes right after the Robert Kraft news broke was Tom Brady looking very metrosexually in one of his crazy model wife dressed him up outfits. And it said, here's a picture of Robert Kraft's high-dollar prostitute.
Yeah.
Now, who knows? Leave the old man alone.
Yeah, you know what? I hope when I
He
go.
wanted to get his rocks off before he left for
Yeah.
an airplane. Get out
Yeah,
of here.
he had to go to a playoff game, and he wanted to get one rubbed out real quick.
Yeah, get the baby batter off the brain. That always makes the flight a little better.
Yeah, for sure.
I just don't understand. There's nobody allowed in the box that can take care of that.
Yeah, 'cause that's true. Shouldn't he just have like a special room in his suite where no one else is allowed to go in there, and there's just like a paid individual who's there to take care of things?
I don't know. I would think that as a billionaire, you have a special app on your phone that you can get whatever you want.
One would think.
Like a billionaire concierge app. That doesn't exist. How come nobody's fucking thought this shit up? Like
That app absolutely exists. You just have to be a billionaire to have access to it. So schlums like us don't have it.
Like Raya, the dating app for millionaires. Like there's no Postmates for billionaires.
Nope.
Gotta be. There's gotta be.
Well, yes, there is, but again, like they screen out the millionaires, and they're like, no, you're not even good enough to know about us. Move along.
What are we looking at there, Rich?
I'm typing into Google and asking if there's a Postmates for billionaire. It doesn't tell me.
Of course not.
We'll do some research into that after the
number
show.
one rule about Postmates for billionaires is you don't talk about handies for billionaires.
No, you know where I'm going to learn about this? It's going to be on this season of Billions. Axe Capital's, they're all going to have a fucking special app where they can order whatever they want to the fucking office. And then it's going to turn out to be a real goddamn thing.
It's just going to be like subcontracting out to like local pimps or some shit.
It doesn't have to be all about whores, Brady. It can be other stuff. Like, oh, I forgot my anniversary. I need to order this fucking crazy-ass expensive shit, have it gift wrapped and brought to the office so I can go home with it. Do you ever think about that? Or, hey, I need a dinner reservation and this place says they're booked.
Or, hey, I had one too many prescription drugs with my martinis this evening, and I may have driven over somebody on my way home. I need a body disposed of.
Yeah, that's on there too.
Yeah.
Wow.
That app has to exist, and if not, we need to create this.
Yeah, we just need to start figuring out what it is exactly that billionaires need. Other than, of course, low-profile hand jobs.
I mean, I can moisturize my hand.
Illicit substances.
I'll moisturize. I'm not afraid.
They have to be. You'd have to. Is there some kind of hand job glory hole?
Maybe.
Would you shave your forearm to make sure they didn't think it's a little too manly for me?
For the right price, I'll look them in the eye and smile.
Way to say what we're all thinking, Rich. Way to say what we're all thinking.
Taking it to the logical and incredibly dirty end.
Wow.
Hey, listen, I got family to feed, man. Whatever. What do we got to do? Oh, just a hand job?
Yeah, it's like I'm paralyzed from the waist down, and I'm jerking myself off.
Yeah, you could give it. You could give them the stranger if you sit on it and make it numb and then do it. Does it still count?
Then neither of you feel it.
Well, how are you going to know you have a good grip at that point? Because the grip is important to getting it done quick.
You do the under grip so that it lays on top. You have good contact.
Oh,
You give it the under kung fu.
That adds up. That makes sense. It passes the smell test. Not very well, I might say.
No.
Is Brady all right over there?
I don't know. So I think that's pretty much going to wrap it up for the day in about the worst possible way. So,
yeah.
Brady, what did you learn today?
In the file this under the dumb shit that happens in spring training baseball, a Marlins outfielder had to field a baseball that landed in another player's cup because it was one of those where the bullpen was literally just like a section of the out of bounds area off to one side, and the player got up out of the way, and somehow the ball ended up in the player's cup in the player area, and the Marlins player had to field it and throw it back into play in the cup.
Man, that doesn't help the aerodynamics of a ball.
That doesn't make your game look any less antiquated when the guy's got to literally like run over into the seats, take the ball out of somebody's drink, and throw it back into the field of play. It's like, come on, guys, can we maybe separate the field of play from the people watching the game? Is that possible?
Man.
Is that too much to ask that the players and the not players be separated?
I think I just blacked out. Were you talking about Marlins baseball?
Not only that,
Unfortunately,
Rich,
yes.
it was preseason Marlins baseball.
Yes.
Spring training.
Oh yes.
Are we gonna cover intramural Division 7 sports next?
Yeah.
Is there-
We got some frisbee golf highlights coming in off the Ocho. We're gonna be covering all that good shit. Don't worry.
Oh, good, because I was worried we weren't gonna get the Ultimate Frisbee League highlights in next week.
Oh no, we definitely got those penciled in. Don't worry.
Perfect.
All right,
I was very
so-
concerned.
With a humble apology for getting almost 2 hours without talking about baseball and then breaking into that. Rich, any final thoughts today? What did you learn?
I've learned that there's not much I wouldn't do for a Klondike, or two dikes that look Christina Milian like.
Wow. That was very
worked.
well thought out. I feel like it was pre-programmed, ready to go.
Yeah, I feel like that had to have been worked on in advance, but I applaud it nonetheless. That was really good. That was good. Thank you.
That's Kanye West.
Oh, really? Okay.
That's a Kanye West line. Come on.
Okay, good.
Well, thank you for being ready with a Kanye West line that was very well timed and appropriate.
Yeah.
I try, but you can only quote the greats. You can't duplicate.
This
Awesome.
is true.
Well, that being said, if you want to check us out on Twitter at Sports on High.
We will eventually tweet something.
We will, probably this week.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I might try to get access to the Twitter from John and just start doing like random tweets from random places. We'll see.
Please do. That's all we want.
All right, and
We'll see.
if you want to shoot us an email, it's sportsonhigh@gmail.com. And thank you very much. And from the Burley Studios, we're out.
The champ is here.
Tune in next week.
That was weak. But I'll take